Hello everyone and welcome to REINAMOE's DIY and It Designs. Today I'm going to share a family event with you, and it is my nephew's graduation. So the gentleman that you see with the ball cap on, that is Cookie. His real name is DeQuentin. He's better known here on the YouTube channel with his own channel as The Ness. I can probably explain that later because it's a little bit definitely male thinking pattern for The Ness. The tall gentleman that you see in the light blue shirt is my nephew Ernest, and there is my son with all that hair in the black shirt. The person that you will see with the red basketball shorts, that's baby girl. You guys know, I've told you before, she doesn't like being on camera, so at one point in the video you'll see she puts her hoodie on and she starts walking backwards, just doing everything extra. But anyway, this particular venue is a venue that my nephew, his father, who's my brother, and he happens to be a police officer, they have this little clubhouse, if you will, and so we were fortunate enough to get the clubhouse, and that's baby girl hugging her uncle. That's my brother. And so we're just decorating it. Now, I have to tell you, the best thing in the world when you are decorating a venue is go to the venue ahead of time, count your chairs, count your tables, see what you have, measure your tables so that you know exactly what you have. Since it's 120 miles from my home to go all the way back home, which this is in the Lamarck, Texas City, Galveston area, I didn't do that. But since I have family there, I requested that they do that for me, and obviously no one made time to do that. So you'll see towards the end that I have to make a second trip to actually complete the decorations. Thank goodness that I planned for 2 trips down there, one to decorate the night before and the next just to help in the kitchen. But unfortunately I ended up having to come back and do decoration and then help in the kitchen because we were missing tablecloths and centerpieces. But anyway, here you just see we're setting up the table configuration. I realized that I had 8 round tables and I think it was 5 rectangle tables. So I did a configuration of rounds and rectangles that were together, almost like a buffet style. It's kind of a new style on the traditional, as opposed to setting up individual tables, having everybody individualized to themselves. I wanted this to be more like a family feeling and a family event, because it truly is. So we are just figuring out the configurations of everything, and I ended up with a head table set up with 2 separate lines of rounds and rectangles for everyone to sit at. Now, I want you to be aware that you're going to see horseplay. Keep in mind that these are children that I'm working with. And also keep in mind that you may see their uncle horseplaying with them too. It's just a masculine thing that happens in my family. But it's never rough, and it's a form of masculine love. They've always done that ever since I was little. Here's Cookie showing you a little bit of his dancing skills. I don't think they realize that I had the camera on. But anyway, there you see that little horseplay there. Totally frustrating. The event decorator, self-proclaimed, trying to get everything done in as quickly as a fashion as I could, because we were doing this because of terrible traffic, plus the long drive. It took us 3 hours to get here, so by the time we actually got there, it was well after 10 o'clock. I was already tired after a long day of work. So real frustrating working with children, trying to keep them on task and focused, especially my son. because he hadn't seen his cousins in months. So you see him running around. He's hyper, and he's normally that way. So he burns out his extra energy that way. But you might see my hands flailing. Just notice that I'm giving them direction as good as I can in a frustrated state. But that's what you do for the people that you love. You go outside your boundaries and you do the things that will make them happy. So now that we have actually set the tables up in the configuration that I'm finally happy with, we're going to start applying all of the chairs as well as the tablecloths. I set those out on all of the tables that they belong on. Kind of a way to re-emphasize to the children that after you're done with one task, you always move on to another. So once the chairs are done, then start opening up the tablecloths and place the tablecloths on the tables that I've set them up on. You know, one thing about working with people in general, whether they're teenagers or not, is to give silent cues on what the next step is doing there, as well as giving them direction. Okay, so now you can see we're moving on to the next step with actually setting up the tablecloths on the tables. You see my son and my oldest nephew, who's actually 20, believe it or not, in the light blue shirt. They're still setting up chairs. I know that there's a part in here where you'll see my son starts with the chairs, then I think he forgets what he's supposed to do, and he goes back and he puts the chairs on the wall. Then he starts running around again, and it just was very, very frustrating because he can stay on task when it's him and his sister, but when it's extra fun people around, he just has a hard time staying on task, and that is the personality of my baby boy. He's such a loving child, very, very good-hearted, but he fun is always number one with him, and I don't know how I'm gonna get that out of him because he fails to realize that he's 16, not 6. And in August he'll be 17, and one more year and he's a man. So I've got some big struggles ahead. So here's what it looks like with all of the tablecloths that we actually have set up for this venue. We are missing some round and some rectangle tablecloths, which are towards the back. Hence the reason why I stress again, it is very important that if you are doing an event, you go to the venue so that you can see the venue. You can count your tables. You can count your chairs. You can measure your table so that you can do the math, actually fit comfortably in the venue for people to sit and have a little bit of elbow room, but yet you can get the entire number of guests set up at these tables appropriately. I remind you that I was unable to do that, and everyone back home was so busy, none of them were able to do that for me. So I'm just thankful that I was able to do 2 trips to get that set up correctly. Okay, this particular clip I'm just showing you, or you guys are seeing from a far distance, where I'm putting the little mats of the mascot that Cookie has for his school, which is the stingray. Both of my children are artists, and they actually made stingrays out of felt, and I blinged them out a little bit with some black bling, just to give it a little dimension and outline, and we put some googly eyes on them. So we're just placing those out because they're flat mats. And then you guys saw the picture frame centerpieces that I made, so I'll be setting those up. We have some centerpieces that I found at King Dollar that were really cute that I just handed the boys, that they're going to set those up, and those are going to go on the round tables on the end. I have some bowls from the Dollar Tree, the mini round globe bowls that I'll be setting up on the tables, along with some pink, not pink, I'm sorry, orange. What you see me carrying are those stingrays that I told you about. I'm carrying some orange Lay's from the Dollar Tree because it's orange. I know you're probably thinking, Lay's, Raina, really, for a boy's graduation party? He loved it because it was used as decoration, and the main thing was the color. It was his school color, so he didn't care what I put out there. He even told me if I wanted to use flowers, I could, simply if they were orange. But I refrained from doing that because, you know, I know him and I know his dad. So I used globes, the little mini globes, and I doubled the Lay's and put those on the bottom. And inside the bowls, I put the graduation clappers. They're plastic, which I found from the Dollar Tree. And I just made do with what it was that I had to work with on such a shoestring budget. And it turned out really, really nicely. But basically, I'm just giving the kids direction. We're laying out the stingrays. We're laying out the picture frames on the tables. We're setting up the other centerpieces that come from the dollar store. And then I'm just going through and putting little embellishments here and there. There are some candy dishes that we made last year for my niece's graduation from the same high school that we're reusing, so I set those candy dishes out, and I'll show you a close-up of those towards the end of the video. But that's basically what we're doing here. We're taking our time and actually decorating the tables as much as we can tonight before we come back tomorrow and complete the finished product of the event decor with the extra tablecloths that were missing and the extra centerpieces that I had to hurry up and create. Okay, so we're finishing everything up. I know there's some final touches that I'm going to be putting on the table. Like there's one that you guys saw from the picture frame DIY tutorial that I did that I'll be placing on the table. So it's looking as good as it's gonna look for tonight. So we're just tidying things up a bit and I'm doing final touches. Next up, you'll get to see the actual reveal of how it turned out. Not the final reveal, but the reveal of me actually going through and seeing how everything turned out on the tables. Just showing you the setup with the globes and the lays with the little clappers. That's going to be the card table that I still need a tablecloth for. And I'm also taking a video inventory, if you will, to help remind me while I run to the store tonight to pick those things up on our way home, which is an hour and a half trip from where we currently are. So I just wanted to make sure that I had video of that. And I'm just showing you my once over. We blew up some balloons for the kids for tomorrow, and here is the final reveal.
Like Halloween, but it's not. His school colors are orange and black, and his mascot is a stingrays. This is the card table, and this is the banquet setup. I'm gonna flip the camera, so give me one moment. So here we just set up a simple backdrop using tablecloths. They can come and stand here in front and take their selfies since this is a younger crowd. most of the attendees will be older people, so they won't even know what this is, let alone try and use it. But for the younger ones, they'll have their little selfie station right next to their gaming station. Typical. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little sneak peek of the party, the graduation party that we set up for my nephew. It's the very first time that I've set up a whole entire venue specifically just for my nephew without any help besides the kids. So I really enjoy this, and I hope that you do too. Don't forget to subscribe. And the person walking through is my sister. Say hi. And that's a niece. Everybody likes to be in the picture. Please subscribe if this is something that interests you. Definitely share and comment down below, because you know I enjoy reading your comments. And on that note, have a wonderful evening. Bye.